Hi guys, my name is Mora and welcome to my series Getting Personal, where I gather for you different stories from Reddit. And today I decided to pick one of the more universal themes, and it is sisters. I personally don't have any siblings, and I am quite actually glad to be the only child. And these stories that I'm about to share with you will probably make you feel the same. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe it's just me who's like the evil only child. So, without further ado, let's dive in and see what these sisters were up to. Am I the for not keeping my thoughts on my sister's ridiculous baby names, Stanford and Yale, to myself? I'm the youngest of three siblings. There's me, 34 male, my sister, Katie, 35 female, and my brother, Ian, 38 male. Out of the three of us, Katie is the one who made it. Her words. She attended Yale Law School and is engaged to a neurosurgeon, Daniel, who attended Stanford Medical School. Over the years, it's become clear that Katie looks down on me and Ian because we aren't as ambitious slash successful slash credentialed as she is. Katie has expressed her astonishment that the family business is profitable, even though someone who got C's in high school and never went to college, aka me, has been running the day-to-day operations for 10 plus years. Katie also once told Ian to his face that he wasted his potential. Context: Ian was the valedictorian of his high school class, just like Katie. By dropping out of college to help mom run the family business after dad passed away. Katie and Daniel recently posted that Katie is pregnant with twin boys and their names would be Stanford and Yale. I commented, "Congratulations," but later I texted her to say that it wasn't right to give the boys ridiculous names that would put them under immense pressure to succeed from a very young age. The pressure to succeed is not the biggest problem here. I mean, their names would be Stanford and Yale. What the actual I also asked her about what would happen if one or both of them weren't as successful slash perfect as she hoped. Kate didn't like the points that I made, of course. She texted back, "I wasn't asking for opinions, especially from someone like you. Rude. Consider yourself uninvited from our wedding until you sincerely apologize." To be honest, I was already leaning towards not attending due to Katie's condescending attitude towards me, but the "someone like you" comment sealed the deal. I told Ian what happened, but he said that I should have kept my thoughts to myself. Well, I don't think you're an asshole, same as the internet doesn't think that. As a future uncle, you would have a right to at least voice your concerns. I'm not saying that you should have like an influence over their final decision, but I mean, if my sister was doing something this ridiculous, I would probably try telling her that, because I mean, these children will have to live with the names like Stanford and Yale. What does she expect will happen to them in school and in their future? They will be mocked relentlessly. I mean, it is ridiculous to name your child after a university, especially just like after a posh university you went to. That is so vain and just so inexplicably ridiculous that, yeah, not poor kids. Well, I wish them the best of luck, and for you, I'm hoping you will just cut contact with her, because yeah, someone like you, for me, it's one of the worst consequences of having a sibling or siblings, because you're always compared and you always are at the risk of being in this constant competition. Someone is jealous, someone is upset about your achievements or lack thereof, and this whole entire mess. I am doing poorly on my own, thank you. I don't need to compete with another person. So, okay, let's move to the next story, and it is, am I for not accepting my sister's handouts because she is just flaunting her money? My 17 female sister, 32 female, works in IT and has her dream job, which allows her to travel quite a bit and work remotely as she pleases, but beyond that, she makes really good money and seems to take more PTO than she does actually work. She's not outright obnoxious with her money, but she's still annoying with it. She's constantly sending photos of her trips all over to the family group chat. This year alone, she's visited 5 states and 3 different countries. Some for work, some of her working remotely, but some just for fun too. She has designer bags, a nice car, all her loans paid off, a great apartment with a jacuzzi tub. She's also a philanthropist and volunteer. Last week, she invited me and my parents to a charity dinner where she is to receive an award for being an animal rescue's biggest donor ever. Well, your sister sounds amazing. On top of that, she fosters animals of said charity, so you can imagine my parents are immensely proud of her. It's always look at my beautiful, brilliant, philosophical, worldly, rich, compassionate daughter, and here's our youngest daughter. Yes, I am jealous of her. The other day, she took me to this expensive hibachi dinner. She told me she would like to pay for my college in full with the caveat that I will do part-time work study, be in a minimum of 1 clubs, and when/if I were to end up making $70,000 per year after graduation, I would pay her back over the course of 10 years with no interest. If I don't get a job that makes that much by the time I'm 50, she will forgive the debt completely. I told her if she had all this money to flaunt around, why is she making me pay it back? You are such a spoiled brat. It's stupid and selfish of her, and if she's going to be like that, I don't even want her money. It's like, look at me, I have the money to pay for your college, but you don't get it unless you do what I want, and if you're successful, then you have to pay me back. It is a fair deal. Someone just drops load of money for your education, and it's not like she got them for free. It's not like they just fell from heavens to her. She earned those money and she has the right to do with them as she pleases, and she wants to help you out to keep you out of debt, and you're being a nightmare of a child. I ended up calling my parents for a ride home. She told them what happened, and they keep telling me that my sister is just trying to be generous and I'm acting like a spoiled brat. Am I the for not accepting her handouts? Yes, you are so immature, ridiculous, and I don't even know what to say. I am blown away by the audacity of someone who thinks that they are just for some reason owed to get those money for free without any consequence, without any rules and whatever. Terrible behavior. Let's move on to the next story. Am I the for wanting my graduation dinner to be about me and not about my impressive sister? I'm going to graduate high school. We are celebrating early since my family is down for my sister's college graduation. I have always felt my sister is better than me at basically everything. I got by with B's and she was a straight A student and so on. No one ever says it, but I know they prefer her to me. My aunt is not an easy person to impress at all. She was a lot of firsts in the family. We were at dinner and my aunt started to ask about my sister's job she got out of college. The whole rest of dinner was talking about my sister, what she's gonna do, and so on. It might as well have been a celebration for her. My uncle asked me if I'm going to college and I snapped at him saying, it doesn't matter, this dinner is about my sister, not me. The table got quiet and my mother told me to apologize. I refused. We got home and I got into an argument with my family who think I was being a jerk. Edit, my sister has her own party this week. That's why I thought my graduation party would be about me. I find this story interesting because here she was served with an asshole verdict, and I kind of disagree partially because I think that the fact that she snapped at her uncle and then refused to apologize to him is wrong. It's like he didn't deserve it. He didn't necessarily know what was happening, probably didn't even give it a second thought. But I think that she's not the to feel this way because it is very strange that at her graduation party sort of type of thing, the family kept talking about her sister. I would be also super annoyed. Every person, when they have specifically a celebration that is about them, they should be like the center of the praise and whatnot, especially since the sister has her own party this week. maybe that's where she should have been in the center of attention. But at the same time, yes, it's not very cool to snap at your relatives and then also throw tantrums. Let's move to another story, and it is, am I the asshole for calling my stepsister a jealous after she accused me of being a gold digger? My husband, 40 male, is a doctor, and I, 29 female, don't work. I got married and had my kids, 6 female, 4 male, and 2 female, soon after graduating from college, so I've never had a real job. I was planning on working for a couple years and had a few job offers, but my daughter happened sooner than we'd planned, so I decided to just stay home. While it is quite nice that I can afford to stay home, money was definitely not the main reason why I married my husband. I love him because of his personality. My sister, 30 female, has 3 children, 7 female, 6 male, and 1 male. I babysit them fairly often. A few days ago, my parents had a barbecue at their house. My 5th anniversary was a few weeks ago, and my husband got me a diamond eternity band and tennis bracelet. I was showing those to my mom when my stepfather and stepsister walked over. My stepdad asked my stepsister when she's getting a ring. She gave me a dirty look and said not everybody can afford to waste thousands of dollars on a shiny rock. The jealousy is dripping. I tried to be the bigger person and told my stepdad that she doesn't need a ring, and it's obvious that her boyfriend loves her a lot, whether she has one or not. She told me to off with my fake sympathy. I asked her if she woke up on the wrong side of the bed today, and she said some people actually have things to worry about. A useless little gold digger who's never worked a day in her life wouldn't understand. Oh wow, that's a lot to unpack, and also quite a bold statement. I was quite offended, but I don't like confrontation, so I just smiled and told her to tell me if she needs help with anything. She said that she doesn't need my charity and accused me of trying to make her and her family feel bad by flaunting my expensive jewelry. Some people just think it's all about them and the world just revolves around them. I reminded her that she chose to walk over and join our conversation. She said that it's hard to feel happy when she and boyfriend still rent a house and can't afford special stuff for themselves and their kids while working long hours. And whose problem is that? I was done with her bullshit, so I basically told her that that's their problem and there is nothing I can do about that. She said that her kids feel awful when they see all the nice things my kids have, and her daughter really wanted to be a ballerina and do gymnastics, but she can't afford it, so she has to watch her cousin do everything she dreamed of doing. Once again, whose problem is that? Not the old piece. I told her to stop being a jealous and said that if she doesn't want her kids to be jealous, then I won't babysit them anymore. She called me insensitive and said that I've always been given everything I want and I'm spoiled. I didn't want to engage with her anymore, so I left to talk to my sister-in-law. My stepsister left the barbecue immediately after that and is still mad at me. My mother thinks I should apologize to keep the peace. Am I the No, you're not. You even had a very graceful reaction to this whole thing because she was calling you a useless gold digger, and you still sort of kept your cool and just extracted yourself from the situation. I think it's a very nice thing to do, considering that the sister is clearly way less self aware than you are, and she was definitely a bit off her rocker when she was saying all these things. So, not the I kind of get where she's coming from, and I know how it feels when you're having issues with money and then you have to watch someone else who you don't necessarily think deserve it get everything they want and whatever. I think we all kind of know how it feels, and sometimes it gets tiring and sometimes you feel like you want to snap, but yet again, your feelings are your feelings, keep them to yourself, and it's clearly just jealousy. So she's in the wrong here. It's not the OP's problem that her stepsister's children are jealous. Maybe just teach them that there are people who have more because, well, they were either just lucky or they have different jobs. They just live in a different way. You can't just ignore this issue forever. You have to teach your children that, like, there will be inevitable inevitably people you will be jealous of because the world is unfair ultimately, and you have to kind of get used to that. So, yeah. Another story I've got for you is, am I the for telling my sister that a comment she made is exactly why her marriage crashed and burned. My sister has been staying with my husband and I, men in our late 20s, for the last week and some change. She and her husband have initiated the divorce process, and she said she doesn't want to stay alone right now, which I completely understand. It would be very hard to go from living with a partner to a completely silent house. I opened our home to her before I found out why her marriage didn't work out. Now that the two of us have had multiple conversations about it, I'm a little uncomfortable. There was no infidelity, there was no big scandal. What she told me is that her husband wasn't having sex with her enough. The things she has been saying have floored me. She says without sex, the two of them were basically just like roommates. She said she has been pushing for him to get a hormone imbalance test done because while they were still having sex, it wasn't enough. She said he had begun resisting even normal touches from her because, from his perspective, all she thought about was sex, which apparently isn't true. I'm not sure I believe that. I'm not sure I believe that either. I can elaborate in the comments, but overall, it just left me feeling sad for her ex and the disrespect of saying sex is the only thing that separates a partner from a roommate, not even a friend. I've done my best to be supportive, but I can't relate to the thought process at all. If my partner told me tomorrow that he wasn't up for sex for the next few weeks, months, or longer, I would just take care of myself and respect that. I love him and I want him to be the person I do life with forever. Well, yeah, that's a grown up approach to this, I guess. This all came to a head last night. My husband and I were having a typical lazy Saturday night, catching up on some shows and chatting while we lounged on the couch. His legs were in my lap and I was kind of absent-mindedly massaging his feet and rubbing his ankles. This was an innocent gesture. My sister came in, saw me doing it, and made a joke along the lines of, OP, I didn't know you were into feet, or I didn't know you had a foot fetish. The exact wording escapes me. I couldn't help but feel put off at her sexualizing the gesture. Intimacy can be sexual, but it doesn't have to be. I told her so and then said, referring to her divorce, you sexualizing every interaction is why you're in this situation now. She called me a dick and left the room. I already know it was a little harsh, but I'm unsure if it was tough love or too much. Am I the all? Maybe it was a little rough. This sort of reaction was definitely uncalled for because, well, even though her comment was completely gross, but going for the jugular basically in this instance was a lot. You know, she's going through a divorce, and even if she's not entirely in the right, she's probably hurting, she's probably very upset. So I wouldn't say it was a good idea to pick at that wound, but generally you are not wrong. It seems like your sister puts too much attention to the sexual things and sexualizing everything, and perhaps it was their problem with her husband, though I refuse to believe there wasn't anything else going on because people don't just randomly stop having sex. They don't just like one day wake up and decide, that's it, I'm not gonna have sex with you for like a year. It happens gradually. There are certain issues which always are concurrent with it. So anyway, no, not the whole sisters being weird. These were all the sister stories I've got for you today. And once again, I'm gonna say it, I am very glad I don't have any siblings, more so than I was before I started filming this. And if you have any thoughts, let me know, please, in the comments. Maybe you have some topics for future compilations for me to do, or just drop the like if you liked the video. I would really appreciate it, and I will see you with another video real soon. Bye.